This week, the plenary of the German Bishops' Conference has been meeting, a meeting that it is always interesting, and although the final result, the conclusions are not all known at this time. It has already given much to talk about, beginning with the words of the nuncio of His Holiness in Germany, Monsignor Ederovic, who in his opening address to the plenary reminded them of the letter of the three Vatican cardinals, Parolin, Lataria, and Ouellet, by which it was completely prohibited both the bishop and the bishops' conference were completely forbidden to create synodal councils, and Monsignor Ederovic also told them that they were completely forbidden to grant any kind of priestly ordination, not even the degree of deacon to women. It is true that he could have spoke about other things, for example, the blessing of homosexual couples, but that had already been the subject of previous statement by the Vatican. Monsignor Batzinger, the president, is a little more submissive, at least it seems so. He has written a letter to the three cardinals who sent them the letter, prohibiting the synodal councils, saying that they are open to dialogue and that they are studying the possibility of replacing the so-called synodal council with another figure. There will be the synodal committees. At this moment, it is not yet known if this is going to be so, and what attributions the synodal committees will have, because they could simply be the same dogs with different colors. That is to say, some minor functions that will be simply a makeup. We will have to wait and see what happens. But the most new and sensational of the week this time has not come from Germany, but from the United States. The Bishop of Springfield, Monsignor Papropic, in an article published in the magazine First Things, an article that is going to give a lot to talk about. He referred it, without naming him, to the case of Santiago Cardinal McElroy. McElroy had said he had written in the Jesuit magazine American that, according to him, the acts, not homosexuality, but homosexual acts were not a sin, and that therefore those who carry out these acts could perfectly well receive communion, in addition to expressing himself open to the blessing of homosexual couples. Well, Paprokic, who is the chairman of the Commission of Canon Law and the church government within the North American Episcopal Conference, and who is an expert in canon law, Bishop Monsignor Paprokic, in the article he had just published, says that this is heresy, and that therefore automatically falls on the Cardinal of Santiago, the excommunication, late sententiae. He has said so, although he does not quote McElroy by name. He says that the one who has made the statement, and also says that it has been a cardinal who has made that statement, is automatically excommunicated. It is true that the law itself establishes that this excommunication has to be made public by the Pope, but the excommunication, if it is a late sententiae, already falls immediately on the one who has proclaimed this heresy. Moreover, the excommunication is official when the Pope communicates it, since it is not a private matter, but a public and published matter. It is a matter of discussion whether this excommunication is also something that everyone must and can know as if it had been officially communicated by the Pope. It is certainly an open question, but Monsignor Paprokic goes farther and says that this disturbing and says that it is improper that a bishop or a cardinal excommunicated with late sententiae as a heretic could participate in a conclave for the elect of the next pontific. The consequences of these affirmations of the Bishop of Springfield, I insist that he is an expert in canon law, and in this article he quotes again and again texts on the Code as well as the Catechism. The consequences are tremendous. They are tremendous, for example, for the case that he himself puts forward, which he calls what could be an improper and disturbing situation, the situation of a excommunicated person, an excommunicated person who does not know it, but because what he has done is public and published, everyone knows that he is automatically excommunicated. An excommunicated person who is a participant in the conclave, that some could perhaps use that information, that the fact not to accept the validity of the election of the next pontific. It is a subject open, I repeat, to discuss. The excommunication priest, bishop, or cardinal, it is a late sententiae, and the excommunication has not been officially communicated to him, can validly celebrate the sacraments, and the faithful can participate in those sacraments. He even maintains the jurisdiction of governing, thinking of the good of the faithful, but in his parish and in his diocese. But I repeat again, from the moment that it is not a private thing, but a public and published, and this is still also, it is a truly serious and grave question. It does not affect only the bishop and the cardinal of Santiago, but so many bishops and cardinals, so many priests, who in their homilies or in their messages openly, publicly defend the doctrines contrary to the teaching of the Church. What Papokrik has done was simply to use an old term that was already in desuet, the term heresy, heretic, which had been replaced by that of separated brethren, has told them that they are heretics, and therefore, as they are heretics, their ecclesial office lapses from the moment that heresy occurs, and they suffer excommunication, late sententiae, that is to say, immediately excommunication. What will happen if the priest who has given a homily teaching thing contrary to the Church on whatever subject? What will happen if that priest meets a layman at the end of the Mass or during the Mass who stands up and says, "You are a heretic"? What will happen? Or if they say to the bishop, because Monsignor Paprocki has said it through a magazine to a cardinal, and he is not the only one who could be affected by that. What is going to happen? Possibly they are not trying to think about it a little bit more, saying I don't want any trouble. If I say this or that, I am going to find some parishioners who are going to say that I am a heretic, and they are going to have arguments to say it to me. Possibly that is not going to happen, because they are convinced of what they think are doing, and also because possibly they did not believe in excommunication, and they did not believe that they are good for anything. And I don't want to dwell on what they possibly do believe. But that is not the essential. The essential is not what they think, but what they feel. But what is essential is what they are, whether they think, feel, or believe, what they want. What they are is clear. I repeat, Paprocki has said very clearly, and he is an expert. They are heretics, and they are excommunicated. What is not be official until they do not receive a statement from their bishop or from the Pope, But they are indeed, and this has many consequences at all levels, and may have many more consequences in the future. What can happen from now on? Are they going to think about it more? I don't know. But of course, they will know and they will meet faithful who will tell them. They will be able to answer them by insulting them or calling them all kinds of names. But they will tell them, you are teaching something contrary to the doctrine of the church. You are excommunicated, and therefore you are an excommunicated priest or an excommunicated bishop. I insist. That is what the Bishop of Springfield, Paproclic, has done. That is what he had just said publicly, and that is what we now have to be discussed. The kind of scope that such consequences has. I believe that we must continue to pray for the good of the church, for the unity of the church, and we must continue to pray for the unity so that we do not have to face situations as terrible as this in which a bishop says that a cardinal, although he does not mention his name, excommunicated, and that this is disturbing, improperly disturbing for the possibility of a conclave. Let us imagine that this could mean for the government of parishes and dioceses. Until next week, God willing.